On today's pod, our guest will be Artistic Director Daniel Arredando. We'll discuss the coronavirus and how it has affected the Austin Gay Men's Chorus. We'll also bring you up to date on some exciting ideas on how to connect with each other during this difficult isolation. I'm Dale Sandish.
And I'm Mark Flores, and this is
One Voice. Hello, Mark, or should I call you Bessie?
People aren't going to get that reference.
Well, maybe you should explain.
Okay.
Mark, how are you? How you doing? How you holding up?
I'm doing okay. So I work in a jail. I'm a clinical social worker, and I work at Travis County Correctional Complex. And believe it or not, our work, the way it normally is you meet with a patient in person, right? I mean, that's how most counseling sessions in the world on a normal basis work. Well, they've been able to create a system where we can meet with them remotely. And it's the mechanism is a laptop on a cart that the officers wheel into a room, and the inmates or patients come out and we have a Skype session. They're calling it Counselor on Wheels. And the reason that Dale called me Bessie is because I've been fighting all my life not to be called a cow, and now I'm called a cow professionally. So that's why I'm
Counselor on Wheels. I love it.
Thanks for that, Daniel.
I think it's a fabulous idea. It's a very moving story.
Oh, okay. Let's get it out of the way. Get all of those cow references out of the way.
I'll milk them till there's no more.
No. Stop it.
We should tell everybody that I can see.
That's utterly ridiculous.
Oh, there you go. Thank you very much.
Sorry, I had to get one in myself.
Thank you. We should tell everybody that I can see your face right now because we are doing a Zoom session. This is being recorded on the Zoom.
Every time somebody says Zoom, it harkens me back to the 60s on PBS.
Yes,
you know
or 70s, the 70s.
70s? Okay.
Yeah, I remember the Zoom. Zoom is Zoom.
Come on and zoom, zoom. Come on and zoom. Hey,
yeah.
Come on, give it a try.
Wasn't Rita Moreno?
Show you just why. We're gonna reach for the sky high. Come on and zoom.
Wasn't Rita Moreno involved in that, or was that Electric Company?
No, that's Electric Company. Get it together.
Okay, well, it's the same crap.
Well.
Okay, well. Also, Mark.
Yes.
Do you know who wrote that theme song for today's pod?
No.
That was Robert Kurzweil's.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, the first one that we'd used for the first pod was mine. I thought it sounded a little bit dated in a way.
Well,
yeah, because I'm old. But and that's the resources that I have are from my age and wisdom and experience.
Yes.
Yes, but this one is from Robert Kurzweil. It's a little more poppy, a little more.
He's amazing. So I was recording with him, and he turned me on to some of his stuff that he's on iTunes. If
I have his album.
Yes,
I purchased his album.
It is amazing. I actually want to produce something with him for Conchita. So I want to create a dance single for Conchita with him. Yes.
So you want to cheapen the whole experience. That's great. That's really.
What did you just say? Did you just say something to me?
No, not at all.
Okay.
So we can also see our guest today.
Our very handsome guest.
Yes, he is. You
are
a
very handsome, talented guest.
Are you located in the square below us? Because I see you down in the middle, right down in the middle.
Yeah, same here.
Mark is there.
Mark is on bottom in my.
Oh no.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, well, moving on.
That
voice that you're hearing, that deep, smooth jazz voice, that is our very own artistic director from the Austin Gay Men's Chorus, Daniel Arredando. Welcome to One Voice.
Welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here and nervous.
Oh, don't be nervous. What are you nervous about? Why should you be nervous?
The wrong things. I don't know.
You know,
No, you're
for
fine.
somebody who stands in front of audiences with you,
Exactly.
showing off your rear end to audiences, I don't understand how you can possibly be nervous.
You would think after so many years of doing this, I wouldn't,
Yeah.
but every time I get up in front of any crowd,
There's a T-shirt that commemorated a time.
There is a T-shirt that commemorated a time. I think it was last year.
Yes,
During this
that's right.
time last year.
Time, as a matter of fact, yes.
When we were doing
Unbreakable.
Unbreakable.
Unbreakable, yeah.
And we were doing press junkets.
Okay,
was
you
an
make it
interview
sound so
just
fancy.
like this one.
No. But it
We
was
were on-
so cute, and yeah,
We were on the local NPR station.
that's right.
Yes, and they said that all I was going to have to talk about was the chorus and the upcoming, event. Nothing about the historical pieces of the
Gayness in the
Unbreakable piece.
20th century.
Yes,
They assumed you'd be an expert.
right.
Yes.
But the only thing I could muster out was, Mark can tell a story better than I can.
Oh no! I mean, what was the name? What is the character? What is the woman's name?
Jane, was it Jane Austen?
Jane Austen. Yes.
No,
Yes.
Jane Austen's the
She's a
author.
featured character in the libretto, and she's famous because she was a social worker. I think she was the first social worker, as a matter of fact. And
Wait.
I don't think her name's Jane Austen.
No, it wasn't Jane Austen. Jane Austen is a
The
literary
author.
What is her
See,
name?
not good at any of this stuff.
Oh my God, what is her name?
Anyway,
Okay, sorry.
she was a famous lesbian,
Yeah.
and in the libretto, there's a line where they say she's a lesbian, and the host of the show asked Daniel, "So who was she?" And Daniel just said, "She's a lesbian." And full stop. And what's his name?
Nicholas Rodriguez.
Nicholas Rodriguez, who's amazing. Jumped in and goes, "Well, no, she was more than that," and he kind of filled us in.
but you got us right to the point, Daniel, and I appreciate that direct.
He did,
Right.
and so I made a T-shirt for him.
Yes. She was a lesbian. So,
She
Daniel,
was.
the first question that I want to ask you, it's probably the question that's on everybody's mind. Everybody is dying to know what you're binge watching and what do you snack on while you watch it.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Yes.
Okay,
In quarantine, minds want to know.
In quarantined minds.
Well, before I had watched the first two seasons of Ozark, and I didn't know the third one had been released. So that's
good.
the thing I most recently binge watched was season 3, and it was amazing. And I'm researching to see if season 4 comes on, and then also season 3 of Westworld is what
Okay.
I'm watching currently.
Excellent.
And
excellent.
what are you snacking on?
What do you snack? Yeah.
So I'm trying to stay low carb. So I'm eating chicharrones with spinach.
Oh my God! I was just going to ask you if you were eating chicharrones. Oh my God! That
It's
is
such a-
hilarious.
Well, it's like chips, but there's no carbs in it. It's all like
Absolutely, and they're so Mexican.
very Mexican.
They are
I have
very
a huge
Mexican.
tub of
I
it. Like
love-
literally, it's like
I love chicharrones.
it's like the 2-gallon tub of them.
What are chicharrones made of? What is? I'm not familiar.
Pork skins. No, they're really good. It's really good.
Pork skin.
Stop
I'm
it.
sure they're delicious. I'm sure they're
They
delicious.
are.
And-
They're very light and like airy.
Oh, that's
Jane
great.
Addams. Jane
Puffed.
Addams.
Jane
Jane
Addams.
Addams. There you go.
Right.
Thank you. She was made of pork skin.
Yes.
Okay.
She was portly and no.
But she wasn't a cow. Anyway,
Oh wow. Okay.
yeah. So, Mark, what have you been binge watching?
I've been sort of I haven't been binge watching any shows. I've been trying to find interesting movies.
Mhm.
And I watched the new Emma. Speaking of Jane Austen, I watched the new Emma, the 2020 Emma, not the one with Gwyneth Paltrow, but the new one. It was
Right.
pretty good. And I watched. What was the movie that I watched that was really good? I'll think about it. But yeah.
Okay.
I'm also doing low carb. I'm on a keto diet right now.
Excellent.
I'm creating all these like keto recipes. I made keto pizza the other day, which was amazing.
I saw pictures. You're posting pictures of food. This
delicious.
Is where we're at.
It is
posting
where we're
pictures of food.
Yeah,
I've always found really interesting.
Sorry, he just made a face.
So what have I been binge watching, you ask?
Yeah.
Yes,
So
Dale,
what,
about you.
Dale? What have you been binging
Well,
on?
I've been honestly. This is.
What have you been purging on? That's really what we want to know.
Yeah, I've been trying to not watch the news as much.
Oh yes.
It's been
I don't know
really,
why.
really hard.
Why would you say that? Why wouldn't you want to watch the news?
It's just it fills my head. The other it reminds me so much of how I reacted to 9/11. I was in you were in New York as well.
So was I. Yeah.
Yeah, I was a half a mile away from Ground Zero in the West Village, and once I saw the first building go down from 6th Avenue outside, I went back into my house and I sat in front of the television, and I literally was in front of the television for 3 or 4 days, just trying to get as much information.
Sense of it, yes.
And it was so it was almost, well, it was too much, and it was very desensitizing after a while. And I find that I'm really stuck to the television and to the news here in my house. When I wake up in the morning, I grab my phone and I want to see, what's happening. And usually it's just terrible numbers, awful things. Every number is attached to a life that's been lost. And the tragedy is overwhelming. So I give my dogs hugs and kisses, and we go for a walk in the morning, and that sort of clears the air, and it makes me feel a lot better. But then I find I'm coming right back and I'm turning on CNN, and I'm watching the news, and I'm watching them comment and dissect and pick apart, and this one's got this opinion, that one's got that opinion, and I want the facts. I want to know what the next steps are. I don't want any of the cloudiness and all of the distractions and the shiny objects. I just want to know what's going on. Agreed. So I'm being a little more selective with which news I watch, when I watch it. I love Rachel Maddow, I must say. I love her. I love watching her in the evening.
I wish she would just get to the point sometimes.
She does weave a thick story sometimes to get to a point. But to me, her points are valid. And so I'll go.
Oh yeah, no, I'm in total agreement with her politically, but yeah, I just wish she would get to the point. I totally understand what you're saying, Dale. Like it's overwhelming, the amount of information and the amount of bad information, the frequency of the bad information that we're sort of have at our disposal. So it makes it very challenging to try to distract ourselves from that.
Yeah, and then there's sometimes when it's very personal. Some of the news is very personal. Not too long ago, there was news about a choir that had been a church choir that did not immediately social distance, did not cancel rehearsals, and so many members became sick. And I thought, thank God, the Austin Gay Men's Chorus took decisive action at the beginning, and decided that we would not have these rehearsals and not subject ourselves to the possibility of spreading the virus. So I'm very grateful for that. I'm grateful to you, Daniel, and the board for making that decision.
Well, and the sad part about that also though is that there hadn't been even a case in their county or in their area, and so they fell victim to the fact that there wasn't a more aggressive approach, by their local officials and, all of that stuff. So that's sad because, I feel like anyone could have been in that position, and they just happened to fall in that.
Well, I think our mayor, Steve Adler, took decisive action by canceling South by Southwest. Everybody thought, oh my God, this is a disaster. Why would he do this? And look at how bright that decision was.
Oh, yes.
So, getting back to what I've been watching, I've been.
Oh, I completely forgot what we were talking about.
I know, I've been binge watching the Umbrella Academy on Netflix.
Oh yes, so good.
It had me captivated, and I really devoured it quickly.
You know this, Daniel?
I've no clue what y'all are talking about.
They're these kids that have special powers. It's a family of children,
Adopted
children by this one
eccentric
guy, this eccentric guy, and they live in this. They grew up in this mansion, and they all come back together because the patriarch dies, and it's a really good. I think there's going to be a season 2.
It does say that at the end of the last episode, and they are there to save the world.
Oh yeah, that's right. They have this one character has the ability to jump back and forth, kind of haphazardly into the future, and he knows that a kind of Armageddon is imminent. And so they're trying to prevent that from happening. It's really good.
Okay,
it's great. Really, it's and I need that fantasy in my life. I need that sort of superhero kind of fantasy stuff without it being Superman, Batman. It's these kids who grow up to be adults, and they're dysfunctional adults, but they have these powers.
Exactly, they really are. There's like a drug addict that has all these superpowers.
Ellen Page is in it. She's terrific.
That's right. She's amazing.
Yeah, she really is.
I don't know about you guys, but I find it a little bit difficult to navigate the balance between people on social media being hyper cutesy at a time when there's such tragedy going on in the real world. You know what I mean? Like, I kind of tire of people trying too hard. You know what I mean? It's like, and that's just me. It's like there are friends of mine in New York who, bless them, they're going through a lot there. So I understand the need to try to distract themselves from it. But some of it is just like, okay, calm down. Like, let's find a balance between the fact that just outside your door, there are thousands of people that are dying and you being cute in your apartment. I can't, it's like, I do that.
But you have to understand that that's the reaction that some people have to tragedy. My go-to is to be funny. Right. I must post 2 or 3 funny things a day on Facebook that I find help me to be more lighthearted about it during a difficult time.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah,
and also, before we go on to the questions that I have for Daniel, I find that the amount of creativity that's going on right now, it reminds me of a theater company that has no money and yet will put on the most inventive, creative productions because they're limited on what they can produce. So they have to get really creative and really inventive. And it's spectacular to see. There's so much creativity going on the internet. People doing television programs from home, people doing artwork. I just saw something on the internet where people are taking famous paintings and recreating.
Oh yeah, I've seen those
in their homes with modern day objects.
Some of them are hilarious. Yeah.
And it's just really the level of creativity. People are writing music.
John Krasinski has his little show that he's doing.
And they're using their time to have a creative outlet. And I know before this all took place, I didn't have that kind of time to spend enjoying the creativity that I can do. Daniel, I want to know how you're dealing with the sense of loss. I mean, we all are feeling grief and loss. How do you deal with it, knowing that our spring concert was canceled, and knowing that the gala festival is being postponed till next year? What do you do for yourself to get through that?
Well, at first I was holding out hope because our concert was probably one of the last ones of any of the gala courses, because we were doing ours in June, getting ready for July. And so I think I still had this shred of hope that this was going to maybe not take as long to pass through, even though all the reality was in front of me. And so I was the one who actually kind of pushed forward for us to go ahead and just officially, cancel the date, even though we'll eventually have a concert. And so after we decided at the board meeting, that weekend, it was really tough. Like, I definitely had a few just like sob cries, because it became a reality for me as a director that the show was, our show was canceled. And what do we do now? Because we had been rehearsing virtually, which we are still going to do, but it was in hopes of like being able to come back and have 6 weeks to put on the show. And so So it's difficult because I consider myself like a super extrovert. Like I come in contact with, I counted about 1,000 people a week is usually my, like, being in front of students and at church and the chorus and just in general. And now it's like 4 and people I see a week of that.
Right.
And so
now, does the 1,000 include your dating schedule as well? I'm sorry. I had to go there. I'm sorry.
That's
come on, Dale. That's only 500.
But it's funny because being the extrovert and then being in this situation makes me sometimes isolate more. And so it's been funny because my introverted friends have been the ones reaching out and asking how I'm doing, because I think they realize this is just taking a toll on me, just as far as like my energy. And so it's been difficult. I mean, it's just been, I feel like every day is a crazy emotional roller coaster where I feel hopeful about some things that are coming up and projects that I'm working on. And then also like, what am I doing with my life? Just sort of being here. But I've focused a lot on working out, and I go for a walk or a run every day, and that helps to get everything going. So
it's hard to put everything on pause, isn't it?
Yes, especially for me that I can't sit still. I think everyone knows that about me. So sometimes I just have to go for a run. Just throw on some shorts and a tank top and just move.
Throw on some shorts and a crop top and go. I'm sorry. I hope you wear a nice headband, nice sweatband. Let's get physical. So, I want to sort of touch on something because I kind of know a little bit about your professional history because I was on the selection committee or part of it for our new artistic director. And I was really pushing for you because I found you just amazing. Your energy, your pedagogy, all of that. But this past Christmas, during the concert, you were very open about a relationship that you had with some early teachers, and as well your parents and the support that you received along the way. Can you tell us a little bit more about your experience with that?
Yes. So the fact that my parents came to our Christmas concert was a huge deal because they've always been loving and supporting of me, their son. But whenever I came out at the end of high school, that really put a strain on our relationship because I finally, had the strength and courage to accept myself, and they didn't know what to do with that. And I am super thankful that they were still loving. They just didn't understand that. And so the emotional support I had more in like middle school and high school as I was dealing with that were my choir directors and again in middle school and high school. And so then I was fortunate enough to get the position as a director for the Austin Gay Men's Chorus, and I've been super excited about it. And it was interesting because my siblings, I'm the eldest of 4. And so the next 2 siblings, I think, kind of sort of battle in their own minds with their own, they've always been loving and accepting. But I still think they probably in the back of their minds are kind of having to deal with that just with their own morality and, religious sort of beliefs. But my youngest sister, super exciting. She volunteers at all our events.
Oh, that's great.
She's the one who said, I think you should invite mom and dad. And I said, do you think they would even, they would even come to the concert? She said, I think the winter concert would be the one for them to come to if they were going to, with our fall concert where it was just super gay. That might have been the first, the best first experience for them. But they came and it's so funny because especially in the tenor 1 section, they said some of them could, I said where they were going to be sitting on, on our right hand side, and so they were kind of watching, and they were like, your mom just like cried almost in every song because she was just very happy, and that she could see that I was like in my element and that I would love what I'm doing, and then she loved the music because we are fabulous. And even my dad was even as sort of stern and sort of a little bit quiet type as he is, he still, even to this day, still talks about the concert. And it's funny because I understand they compartmentalize the the gay part in them. They're just, oh,
Right.
you and your chorus, just like, as someone, someone who's older is like, how's your friend? Like they're not meaning it to, they're not meaning to dismiss it. That's just kind of, it
It's their
doesn't
way
compute.
of dealing with it. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
it was a beautiful moment when
It was.
you were in tears, and it made me feel it made me feel really great, because you allowed yourself to open up and share your emotions with us. And I think a chorus of our size without emotion, if you had been very stoic and hadn't shared that with us, we would not feel emotional towards the music. And I think it really it fed us with that emotion, and that's one of the aspects of the Austin Gay Men's Chorus that I think is so wonderful, is that we connect emotionally as well as musically, and music without emotion is sound to me.
I agree with that completely, Dale. I loved how transparent you are emotionally with us. I've been under a number of different batons, but I've never had somebody as available emotionally as you are. And it really does translate into the music. And so I trust you implicitly with how you not only conduct us as a group, but how you conduct yourself as a professional. And I'm just so glad that you're with us.
Amen. Amen. What he said.
Oh, okay, you're making me cry right now.
Well, that's the whole point of this portion of the podcast, is how can we make it?
On the outline, doesn't it say make Daniel cry?
Yes, it's my Barbara Walters fantasy. I can make the guests cry.
Dale, I love that. Is that a quote from somewhere? Or did you just say that right now? The music without emotion is just sound. That is
no,
so
I just
deep.
thought of that because that's really the way I see it. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
It is.
Great.
So virtual choirs have become uber popular lately because of the limitations that we have. We can't get together. We have this strong desire to be together and to sing together. So can you tell us about what we're planning to do with the Austin Gay Men's Chorus, and take note?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. So at first, philosophically, if we had the ability to meet, that's number one, because there's just something about the energy of people coming together, hearing each other, all of that. And so at first, and it was funny, we have a weekly AD meeting, artistic directors from the Gaelic choruses. And at first, a lot of us felt very strongly about not doing that, because we just were like, well, the quality, and we had all these things. And then as weeks, started coming along, I think we all felt like, okay, well, how strong are we going to hold on to that while our chorus needs something? They need, the weekly rehearsals are, a way to connect, but it's not something that we're just all getting excited about. And so that's when I was like, immediately, especially when I could start to see and hear excitement, and then also watching other videos happen. And so that's when I was like, okay, part of my philosophy is also about building community. And this is one of the best ways we can actually do that right now without the ability to do that. So for our project, so I always love super high quality. And so we're piloting the first virtual choir with Take Note, and Carl Logue's arrangement of One Voice by Barry Manilow.
Appropriate.
And so we're
very appropriate.
Oh yes, it's wonderful.
That's a great title.
Yes.
Yeah. And so we are. So the guys, which you are both members of, we are. I've uploaded everything. So now you have all the resources to be able to record. So we'll record the sound first, so that we have really good high quality of that, and then in the next week we'll record the video to then fuse it together. And so it'll be really exciting. And then our full course is also going to do that with the I Love You, What a Wonderful World, excuse me. And so we'll be able to put that together. And so and our
Which we
production
performed
team
at our
right now,
last concert.
Yes, at the cabaret, and the production team, the team that's putting volunteering so many hours are Robert Kurzweil, Carl Logue for audio, and then Will Mruzik, excuse me, and Leo Colas doing the video, and everyone's excited. We're having a weekly meeting now to kind of just make sure all the pieces are coming together, and
that's great.
Yeah,
that's a conspirare arrangement, isn't it?
Yes, well, it's a Craig Hella Johnson. I just
right,
yeah, but yes, yeah.
And you sang with them for a little bit, right?
Yeah, I did their is it Christmas at the Carillon? I think is the series. That's the one I was able to be part of with my schedule. So yeah, that was an amazing experience. But I have to say, and this is not just to plug our choir. I've never had a spiritual musical experience like that I've had with the Austin Gay Men's Chorus, because it's just a different. We understand not that I want to exclude anyone, but there's just a level of love and understanding, and it's like it's almost like food or water. It's like I feel like I don't know how to survive without the chorus now. Like it's just such a lifeline for me. And so,
I have to, I don't want to just keep piling on, but I have to say that I've not experienced the kind of ability that you have to bring a chorus up to a certain level in a very short amount of time. Because when you started, you had a very short period to not only get to know us, but to create Unbreakable, which was like the third production of its in the country, and it was the full-on production with the
composer.
What's his name? With the composer
Andrew Lippa.
With Andrew Lippa, and so it was this amazing experience of we're getting to know you, and very. Soon after you were hired, and then you had to create this amazing show, and it was so full of emotion, and it was so well done. I mean, it was so well received. I mean, we sold out both, well, almost sold out both shows. It was just so good. I was so, I was so full of pride to be in that chorus with you. It was just amazing. So I just wanted to say
I'm right with you on that. I love the fact that you take the bull by the horns, and you've got your focus so intense on rehearsals that if you hear a noise coming from it's like, oh, don't, let's get back to that, which I appreciate because it keeps us on track.
Well,
he's talking about Dale.
yes. But the thing is what part of me is what I try to pass on to other choir directors, like in classes and things, is that I feel like I still do it without breaking anyone's spirit and without having to yell. I feel like I'm like, you can be direct and focused and strong-willed without the yelling part, because I don't respond well to that at all. So
no,
I think it's fabulous. While we're talking about being inclusive and not yelling, let's talk about the next project that we are weaving our magic spells around, and I think this is going to be so incredible. It's called Totally Talented Tuesdays. Yes. Woohoo! Daniel,
tell us a little bit about that, Daniel.
Yeah, give us.
How did you come up with the idea, and tell us a little bit about what you envision for that?
So, I mean, during this time, we're in this for at least another month. I mean, for sure. Probably longer. And so I know we have the rehearsal pieces of this, and then the virtual choir we're working towards. So that's a little more working. But then for our community, for our chorus, I was trying to think what can guys look forward to, and to relax and to be entertained, but also by
socialization sort of component.
Absolutely. And so I just I was like, well, what if we did a little a lip sync or something with a little bit of competitiveness.
Something fabulous.
But not with the intensity of that there's any real prizes, or we can all have fun. And so then
there's not real prizes?
So then
There are virtual prizes, all virtual.
Oh, okay.
So then I contacted two scragglers that I thought could help.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
to
Hams, you
help.
mean hams?
Yes, hams. Yes, to help put it together, and we'll have a whole team to it. There's still some loose ends to work out, but that was the sort of the focus for that is
Dale,
just to have some.
by loose ends, he means you.
I know, loose ends.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you know what I love about the whole idea of this project? It's very much like Babes in Arms. If you're familiar with that Mickey Rooney, Judy Garland film, where my mom's got a barn. Hey, my dad's got some Bob Mackie.
Let's put on a show.
Yeah, let's put on a show. And so we are.
I've got a camera. I've got a phone.
Yes, you do.
Let's put on a show.
Keep showing us pictures of your food, which I don't care about what you eat. But this, with the limitations that we have with Zoom and our way of socializing, we are creating a performance competition. And anybody in the chorus can participate. It is we're calling it Dragalicious Fabulosa. You know, like the cleaner, Fabulosa.
Oh, no.
And we will have 3 levels of 3 categories. It will be hair, makeup, and costume. It will be the first, and how you tip. And those who don't know tip, look it up under the gay dictionary.
It's not in the vein of just the tip. It's in the vein of you're going to tip across the stage.
That's right. And the second category will be a talent performance of some sort, whether you want to sing a song, tell a joke, lip sync, play.
I think it should be a gong show moment, but that's still up for debate.
I think that's a little harsh, so we're going to have to discuss that aspect of it. But
I just want a gong in there at some point. Like, you know, it doesn't have to even relate
that's
to
okay.
anything.
That's okay. When you talk, we'll dong. Actually, that's what the mute button is for.
That's fine. That's fine.
And then the
so
final,
long as we have a gong sound.
yes, the final part of the competition will be a sort of a game show-esque question and answer or match game kind of thing, yet to be decided. But
World peace.
That's right. That will be the award. We will give world peace as the.
No, that's the answer. Isn't that the answer to every sort of pageant question? I want world peace.
You're
Isn't
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically,
So it depends on how they
every
sing.
answer.
That will decide. But the audience, the viewers, all of the Gay Men's Chorus who will participate will actually vote for their favorite persona. And I think it's an incredible idea. I think it's going to be fun as hell. Yeah. We're going to iron out some of the technical aspects of it. We've got showrunners, producers, people who are more technically savvy than myself. And Mark and I will host. I will be in the caricature of Dink Butterworth, reprising my role as Dink Butterworth. And Mark, you will be...
I'll be Conchita.
Right, and we've all seen her. So this will be really exciting.
Wait a minute. What are you trying to say? You all have seen me. You haven't seen me.
Everyone from every truck stop from here to Laredo has seen you.
Okay. I see what you mean.
So,
Mark, I had an idea for your gong, but before, like, y'all will obviously have the opening remarks, but then you can be like, let the talent begin, and then hit the gong, and that.
You want the gong to happen at the beginning? Okay, all right.
That's a great idea. We have to get you a gong.
Yes,
or a gong sound. I mean, you could.
So
let the chop begin.
Let the chop begin. Okay.
So before we finish up here, there's a question that I asked every member of the chorus. I think it was during our last rehearsal. One of our last rehearsals was for everybody to complete the sentence, I become a stronger person when I blank. And I got...
So do I. Oh, I'm sorry.
When you blank, yes. I got so many wonderful responses for that. And I think during this time, it's really something that I want to share with everybody. And we've all got the list here, and while we have us all together, let's go ahead and read through these. So the question was, complete the sentence. I become a stronger person when I love the people around me.
I become a stronger person when I pause before I speak.
I become a stronger person when I am surrounded by a singing chorus.
Amen.
I become a stronger person when I listen to Ariana Grande. That bitch, my spirit animal.
I become a stronger person when I let go of fear and doubt.
I become a stronger person when I breathe.
I become a stronger person when I think about the amazing people I've met at and through AGMC, and when I think of the joy and value of singing.
I become a stronger person when I believe in myself.
When I remember to be mindful and live in the moment.
I become a stronger person when I feel my feelings.
When I stand up for someone else.
When I find things in my life to be grateful about.
When I let down the walls and allow myself to be vulnerable.
When I'm with people who support me and make me feel like I'm being my best self, even when I feel like I'm not.
I become a stronger person when I encourage others. I become a stronger person when I jazzercise.
Mm-hmm.
When I learn to lean on others when I'm struggling rather than deal with my burdens alone. Wow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And these answers were from a month ago, probably more than that. Our last rehearsal together. So thank you, everybody in the Austin Gay Men's Chorus, for those answers. It's important for us to remember that we are all connected emotionally, even though we're not connected physically. We can still share our experiences that we're having now during this really difficult time, and know that we are with each other and we lift each other up. Our strength lifts each other up. So if you're having a down day, reach out to a fellow chorister.
Mm-hmm.
Know that we're all here for each other. I think that's one of the things that is giving me hope during this time. I look so forward to the times that we can Zoom together, knowing that we will be able to hug each other very soon.
Yeah, we strongly urge people to continue to show up to Zoom rehearsals and participate in virtual choir. And please join us for Totally Talented Tuesdays. We're gonna have a great time, and we'll stay connected to the real world through our virtual efforts.
Amen. Daniel,
Love it.
Daniel, thank you so much for being our guest this week, sharing your talents and ideas and amazing efforts that are keeping us all involved.
I feel like we could do a whole nother, podcast with just Daniel.
I think
so
we
much
should plan on that.
There's so much more that I want to know about you.
Yes.
Thank you all so much for having me. This definitely has lifted my spirit just to be able to talk and communicate with you all, and to know that to even get excited about I think I've been excited about the projects, but now I'm super excited about it.
Oh, good.
Oh, did you hear that?
Oh, yes, I did.
Mason,
What was that?
My little doggy Mason does not want me to be podcasting anymore.
Oh, okay.
That was my alarm that
She's
time's
about
up.
to pee on your floor.
Oh, no. No. He's very good about that.
Okay.
So until next time, Mark, adios. Daniel,
Adios.
goodbye.
Daniel,
Thank you again.
goodbye.
Remember, wash your hands, people.
And wash your people's hands as well.
No, don't touch any people's
Okay,
hands.
all
Just
right,
wash your own.
Wash your own hands.
Bye, everybody.
Man.
Bye.
Right out of my head. Gonna wash Corona right out of my head.
You don't have any hair, Dale.
I know. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.